friends, welcome to Monday, another Monday and brand new possibilities with God. So first, I want to wish my best brother ever happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday, and also my friend's daughter Chloe, and her birthday is today. So I wish both of them happy birthday, and I pray God's blessings on them for today and forever. Amen. So if I told you that there's a link between the astronaut and your faith, what would you say? Is that a yes? Is that a no? Or what's Abisola talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. So the other day, I was with some friends. We went on a road trip. We went camping, and it happened that we went to this part of the US that is visible from outer space. This part is visible from outer space, is visible from the great beyond, and it's called White Sands in New Mexico in United States. And it's a park made up of white sand and is white gypsum, and the dunes cover about 275 square miles. Sorry, I don't know that in meters unless I calculate it. And it's bright white, and I'm going to show you some pictures of myself standing in white sands. It's bright white, and the dunes are seen from space. So that's why I said the astronaut and your faith is connected. How does that happen? I'm going to tell you in a minute. So as we drove into the park, I was actually driving. As we drove into the park, I felt like I am driving into a snowstorm, and I could hear the sound of my tires crunching on what sounded like snow. Everything was pure white. Look at the picture again. Pure white. You're driving into pure white. Your mind tells you it's pure white, therefore it's snow. It crunches like snow, therefore it is snow. And if it is snow, it's going to be cold. We went in May a few years ago, and of course May at that part of the world is very hot. So, but my mind said, this is white, it is snow, it's going to be cold. When we opened the door of the car, it was about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 35 degrees centigrade. So you know it was far from cold. I had to battle my senses. I'm seeing something else, but I know that is not true. My mind is saying it's white, it's cold, but I know it's not cold, it's not snow, and it is hot. Really, really hot. So what does this have to do with your faith? The Bible tells us that we do not walk by sight, but we walk by faith. So if I had listened to my body that says I'm in a pure white environment, therefore it's cold, and I dressed cold, when I got out of my car, I would not have lasted more than a few minutes. I'd have to run back in and take off my coat, take off my scarf, because it's hot. H-O-T, hot. So how does this help my faith? Let's look at a few examples. Gideon amasses a large army, and God says, no, prune it down to 300 and something, and go fight this battle. The battle against one of their biggest arch enemies of that time. Gideon had built up his army, and God said, no, too many people, cut them down. Does that make sense to you? Oh, thank God we don't use our natural senses when we're walking with God. Another example, 3 kings trying to fight another huge country. And God says, dig ditches. And you may ask God that, what has fighting a battle got to do with digging ditches? That's the amazing thing with God. You see a battle in front of you, and He says, no. That's not how to fight that battle. Do something else. Another example, you want to go pay your taxes, and God says, take a hook and throw it into the ocean. Pull out a fish, there's a coin in the fish's mouth, go pay your taxes. How? I don't understand. I need to pay my taxes, I need to work. He said, no, take a hook. He didn't even say put a bait on the hook. Take a hook, throw it in the ocean, pull up a fish, coin in its mouth, go pay your taxes. One last example. We're out of wine. And Jesus says, oh, okay, go fetch water. What has water got to do with I'm out of wine? Why not tell me, oh, here's a few, whatever the currency was in those days, go buy some more wine. He said, no. He told the servants, go fetch water, pour it into the cistern, and fetch and give it to the master of the ceremony. How is that possible? The Bible is rife with examples of all of these things, that you cannot trust your senses, you cannot trust your mind, you have to trust Him. Does the Bible tell me that? Yes. Look with me. We're going to turn to the book of Proverbs, and we're looking at Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 6. And I'm going to read it from the Amplified Bible Classic Edition. And it says, lean on, trust in, and be confident in the Lord with all your heart and mind, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways in all your ways know, recognize, and acknowledge Him, and He will direct and make straight and plain your paths. So you have an issue you want to take care of. Don't lean on what you know, what you've learned in school, or what you learned in trade school, or what you were taught. Lean on Him. And if He says this is the way, it's usually very straightforward, very plain, not complicated. But we make it more complicated, just like the snow. Just like the sand. I'm looking at the sand and telling, hey, this is snow. Sounds like snow, looks like snow. And He said, this is sand and it's very, very hot. Who am I going to trust? I'm going to trust Him. So as you go into the world today, as you go into your week, don't trust what you see, don't trust what you feel, you smell, you taste. Trust only Him. The Bible also tells us to lean our whole entire human personality on Him in absolute trust and confidence in His goodness, His mercy, His love, because He will see you through. And I'm telling you, if you do these things, your life will never be the same again. This message has been from Him, for you, and for His glory.